Hello, my name is Brandon Aglio, and I'm a living historian here with Newport Historical Society. Today we are going to discuss the events of the 1st of November, 1765, the day in which the dreaded Stamp Act will go into effect. Since its inception in March of 1765, the Stamp Act will affect the British Empire as a whole, particularly within the American colonies. A great uprising will be amongst the people in regards to the Stamp Act, which is considered an effect on the rights of the Englishmen here in the colonies. They will see a new tax directly imposed upon them on various items, such as legal documents, such as land deeds, also as low as newspapers, playing cards, and even dice. This will cause great confusion and consternation amongst the colonies, leading into several protests, and in places such as Boston and here in Newport, Rhode Island, rioting. As a last gasp of protest before the Stamp Act went into effect, November 1st, 1765, a protest will be created in the form of a funeral representing the death of liberty. A procession through the town will commence and end up at the common burial ground, where a casket, perhaps with someone inside, will be placed. It is there that the lamentations of the colony's rights will be laid to rest. But before the rest can begin, Britannia will rule that liberty is saved. And after a groan from the casket, liberty is indeed saved. And as an enjoyment, everyone will retire to the taverns where merrymaking will begin. This will make headlines throughout the British Empire, and again, help with the repeal of the Stamp Act in March of 1766. As we progress now, we will hear from the various classes here in Newport how the Stamp Act affected them and why they needed to participate in this funeral for liberty.
Hi, I'm Joshua Mason, and I'm a living historian with the Newport Historical Society. Newport merchants were very well aware that protests here would make the papers in London. As a contrast to the riots by the mobs in August of 1765 for the Stamp Act, this protest was going to be peaceful. For a merchant, the issue was whether or not they could pay the tax. For part, it was an issue with does Parliament have the right to tax the colonies? It was also an issue with how the tax was supposed to be paid. Being done in hard currency or coin, it was often trying to be saved by merchants for use in the international trade rather than trying to save it. This being a funeral for liberty, members of the upper class chose to dress in full mourning attire, being almost entirely black.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Kurens, and I'm a living historian with the Newport Historical Society. I'm representing a lower store. Unlike my counterpart, merchants, I'm not worried about how the tax is going to impact their business. I'm worried about how my everyday life is going to change. While I was not affected directly as much as others, such as merchants, I was roped into protesting and rioting for the promise of drink and food by the merchants.
Lamentations for our country.
Liberty is dead.
Oh, liberty!